After 6 weeks, Tom, all I can say is, wow.
Pretty amazing.
We couldn't have scripted it. Frankly, people are going to listen to this show perhaps and think this is all staged. I mean, I start to question reality. I'm not going to lie. When I see Uber Eats commercials with Matthew McConaughey and Christian McCain, the Mick boys, the McUber Eats Boys.
The Mick boys. Yeah, combined with the apocalyptic Uber Eats bags and then McCaffgate, it feels like some intricate conspiracy, and I'm not sure.
It does.
It's sort of like the usual suspects moment where the mug falls, but without the answer. Nothing's been figured out. You just drop the mug and you're like, there's something to this. And
but then the film just turns to smoke and burns up and you never see the rest of that movie. Well, congrats to you, Tom.
Thank you, friend. So I win 156 to 147.
Another single-digit win in two-man, which I think we're on a roll with those. For some context, this is, unprecedented gets thrown around a lot by me specifically, but this is unprecedented.
We've never been more tied after 2 weeks, let alone after 6 weeks.
No, you're right. And these battles are it's not even like, blowouts. I mean, we've never gone to the Monday Night River like this either.
No, I was riding high with my 4 waivers last week that I could do anything with. And then immediately, it was a bizarro flip. I found myself in the exact situation you were in, and I had to spend 2 of the 4 waivers just to field the lineup.
Well, dude, you were in a terrible spot. I mean, I texted you at one point, not even needling. Because sometimes you get those, we've both flung those texts around where it's like, oh, buddy. And you know when there's a little needling. This was genuinely just like, because I had also gone through something similar, the different circumstances, but the kind of just brutal, agonizing.
That's true. You were in a terrible spot last week. I was in a terrible spot this week. We both end up winning. I end up picking up DJ Moore and Drake London. The thing I was really torn about was DJ Moore versus Chris Godwin. Did me being a lifelong Bears fan have anything to do with this decision? 1,000%.
Welcome, Tom. Welcome.
And then Godwin has like 12 catches for 150 yards and 2 touchdowns, and DJ Moore has his worst game of the season.
So this is why that roster slot sat empty for so long, is because you were really laboring over this one, which makes sense.
I did consider, especially after he had a bad game, I thought to myself, do I just punt this? So I did think about not taking London.
You were?
And just letting the week go. And I was trying to, part of it is after Rice Collins and then DJ Moore having a dud game, I just felt a little snake bit. So I'm like, I'm going to waiver Drake London and he's going to have fucking 3 points. I'm going to be so pissed. But then I just picked him up. I'm like, don't go down this road. Don't go down this road.
Well, think about it, though.
I'm very glad I did not.
No, I know. You would have been down 4-2.
I would have been down 4-2. Yep, that would have been the difference between winning and losing. And then I ended up dropping 2 players who, in a few weeks, I'd probably rather have both of them than the 2 players I picked up. But what can you do?
What can you do when it's this tight? You can't afford to just sit and bide your time.
And then when I did it, I decided, okay, I have 2 waivers left. I'm holding on to these because I might need them.
Yes.
And then someone might emerge. I'm like, I'm not doing anything. And then I look, and Devontae Adams got traded to the Jets. I'm already tempted to do it.
Sure. I mean, here's the other thing. This is where you are in a luxury. You're in the luxury seat right now. You're getting a little back massage, some heat. You got it all going on in this luxury seat you have right now with these 2 waivers. Because I heard that news, and the first thing that came to my mind was, oh, Mr. Luxurious, Mr. Waiver Bucks himself. Because if I have a single waiver,
exactly,
it's a race. We're fumbling over each other to get to the keyboard at that point.
Especially, I know you're a Devontae man,
big time. No, I would have taken.
If you even have one waiver, it's like you kind of got to pull the trigger.
I would pull the trigger today. That would be on my priority, which I would have priority. What hurt me, so also for me now, just another quick context thing. For me, it was Breece Hall going into our Monday Night River. It was Breece Hall against Josh Allen and the Jets D for you.
Yes, and
we were
almost totally tied in points.
Pretty much, yeah.
So Breece Hall had to outscore Josh Allen and the Jets D, which isn't impossible, but is certainly nowhere near the 17% Yahoo was saying you had.
Nowhere. The Yahoo project. Do you remember I think he was Australian actor, Yahoo Serious. Do you remember these movies in the 90s.
Oh, yeah.
Do you remember this guy? He was like a young Einstein or something or whatever the hell.
Oh, my God. I watched Young Einstein all the time growing up.
Brilliant. I love that. So now this reference, at least you will appreciate this then. I consider the Yahoo projections as Yahoo Unserious. That's how I view that was a long walk for that, but worth it in my mind.
I'll tell you what was weird last night.
Yeah.
That I thought was the most apocalyptic thing I saw in this week's NFL. Did you see this Pulp Fiction thing?
Oh my God.
They're celebrating the 30-year reunion of Pulp Fiction, and they cut to this weird ass AI
like
Aaron
shimmy?
Rodgers and Josh Allen doing the Travolta Uma Thurman fucking dance while they played the Pulp Fiction theme song. It's like, what in the world is this?
Thank you. That was very disturbing. In fact, it took Troy Aikman's breath away. I feel like he couldn't even speak to it. He didn't even want to acknowledge it was a thing. Like I remember Buck being like, so what are your thoughts? He's like, I'm not. He's like, I can't
believe someone thought that was a good idea to put on TV.
So brutal. It was one of those like brutal in a specific way where you're almost like, is this the first time anyone is seeing this? Like, did this get run through After Effects and then just floated on air?
Honestly, it looked like something we would use. It looked like something that would be for our standings graphic on our Instagram page.
Yes, like a free 3D animation app.
Yeah, it was unsettling.
Very unsettling.
I mean, I love Pulp Fiction, but why are they celebrating Pulp Fiction on Monday Night Football? Or they're going to be like, it's the 20-year anniversary of No Country for Old Men next week.
Here's the two quarterbacks flipping a quarter to see where it lands with the Javier Bardem wigs on. Yeah, no, I mean, that's...
And then Troy Aikman's going to be like, remember that won Best Picture and Best Supporting Actor.
Troy will have much to say about that one. He couldn't find the words for Pulp Fiction, but he'll come correct for No Country. Well, yeah, I mean, so we've never been this tight. I obviously like your position better because you've got some, in a very unpredictable season, an injury-riddled mess of a season here. It feels like having those two in your back pocket is enormous.
I have homeowners insurance.
You do. In a flood zone. In an absolute flood zone, which
That's
is
accurate.
Unbelievable. You've been grandfathered in somehow. I mean, you also just have the gold mine that you stepped into, Mr. Henry. I mean, just consistently, just set it and forget it. He's the Ron Popeil. He's the Ron Popeil of fantasy here.
Just thinking back to this draft day trade where you were just pulling teeth to convince me to
let's not go back.
Let's not go back.
Tom. We're looking
Derrick
forward.
Henry. And then now he's just the only thing that's been keeping me in it.
We don't need to go backwards. Let's go forwards. Let's look to the future, Tom. Come on. The A.J. Brown hurts. That's what I was looking for. I was looking for that connection for Derrick Henry.
Yeah.
Not even
A.J. Brown. I mean, A.J. Brown, he's played 2 games. He's been excellent both games. He's outscored Derrick Henry the 2 games he's played.
Yeah, he's played 2 games, and he's had 26 and 27. So, I mean, what the hell? I mean, it's just, yeah. I weirdly thought the Derrick Henry thing, which is why I also got Derrick Henry and then let him slip away. But it was that I thought he would.
I would say let him slip away is not an accurate description of what happened.
No, just through my fingers.
You almost had a gun to my head and made me take him is more.
Yes, I watched him slip away under duress out the door.
It got to the point I'm like, if I don't make this trade, I think Murf will be earnestly angry with me. I think I have to make this trade for the betterment of the 2-man dance league.
You're right. No, that was the hardest sell that I've ever put out there. So
but
to let
honestly,
him slip
Murf,
away,
I get it. There's something primal about having the players of the team you grew up watching.
There just is. Also, what was so hard about this season is that I kind of knew Hurts. Like, I had a weird Sirianni just needs to fucking go. They need to do a Robert Saleh. If the Jets are willing to just have security remove their head coach from the building, we need to do that for Sirianni because he's now chirping at the fans. I don't know if you caught any of that.
He's screaming at the home fans.
And brother, I'll tell you what, man, you're going to wake up with batteries in your eyeballs. Like, you're going to wake up. You start shouting at the Philly fans. It's never worked out for anyone. You're just going to have D batteries stuffed in your eye sockets. I mean,
is that a reference to something?
Well, they throw a lot of batteries at the old Veterans Stadium. That was one of the things they threw batteries at Santa Claus was one of their big things. You start chirping to the fans. They're not going to let you off. That never, ever, ever plays well with any athlete in any sport, any of the big four.
After that clip, he's got to be
You're
like
toast.
He might get booed more than Jerry Jones next week.
I think you will.
I'm hearing rumblings that McCaffrey's coming back. I don't believe it.
I mean, these rumblings. You're watching too many Uber Eats spots, brother. You're good. If he looked very healthy and in great spirits in that Uber Eats spot.
He did.
Let's not let that fool us.
He's going to be tempting me, but I feel like it's just another
down
McCaffrey.
The stretch.
It's another McCaffrey trap. I feel like it's Ursula that like you have to trade in your voice.
Yeah.
It's a deal with the devil.
McCaffrey coming back will be hot. You will be Ursula'd.
If McCaffrey came back and I wavered him and I beat you with him, would we be able to recover from that?
If it cost us week 18, no. No. No chance. If somehow you did that and you just pulled ahead in the last 2 weeks, I mean, Tom, don't do it to us. Don't do it. I mean, that's the ultimate heel. I mean, two-man dance needs a heel. That's your heel turn.
It would be, yeah.
And I'll say, listen, it's beautiful.
It would be a real Hollywood Hogan move.
It is. No, you are absolutely. Yeah, children will be weeping in the stands, Tom. If this happens, if you get Christian McCaffrey and you pull away in the last third or last quarter of the season, the children will weep.
Within the context of everything that's happened and all the discussions we had, it would be a big heel move.
It would, but I will also say this as someone who always appreciates the pageantry. Not any less exciting. Not any less like,
no.
I mean, heartbreaking for me on all sorts of levels, but a beautiful, fun narrative to put a little bow on the McCaffrey problem would be the McCaffrey heel turn is another beautiful, just floating. Who knows? He's not coming back, but if he did.
Start blasting the voodoo child.
Yeah. As soon as I hear that opening lick, I'm going to go, oh boy. If it happens, it's a beautiful, thing to take advantage of. One way or another, this has been an exceptional year. We're off to a hell of a start here for our first year documenting this.
We really are. And 3-3, so if this was the NBA Finals, crucial Game 7 coming up.
Ooh, big time Game 7.